You know, I don't think you need me to tell you this, but leadership really matters. And tonight, we're blessed to be led by individuals who carry both vision and conviction. Our chairman of the board, Dale Blachford, is one of those leaders. And through his guidance, through his integrity, and his unwavering belief in this mission, he has helped position this organization for continued impact and growth. And those are two very different but critical pillars to the process. So would you please join me in welcoming Dale to the stage right now?
Good evening. Even though I can't see you, I know you're there. Thank you for being here tonight. It's going to be a wonderful night. I'm on the clock. I'm not going to look at it because I'm probably going to go over. We'll see what happens. And that's kind of ironic because I'm always the one telling Jackie, we get on time, get on time. So I told her, what is she going to do, fire me tonight? So anyway, what I'd like to do, before we can say where we're going, I want to go and kind of look where we've been. And I think it's important because we've been 4 different names in I don't know how many years, but a number. And everybody wonders, why are you changing your name? Why are you changing your name? What are you doing? So I'm going to tell you, okay? But I'm going to tell you going back, I've been on the board on and off, 2 6-year terms, so 12 years. And I'm done in June. Really, I'm done after tonight. I told Jackie I was, I'm going to get us here and then I'm going. But anyway, no, I won't do that to her. But I had the pleasure of working with 4 different executive directors. And I'm going to just say a couple things about each one of them and what they meant for the ministry and what they did for the ministry and how it got us to where we are today. Because there really is, as you'll see, and as you've been part of us, our organization, each time we've changed your name, our bar has gone up. And you're going to see it go up again now, or you already have it. I'm going to tell you how and why and all that kind of stuff here in a minute. And don't notice the people standing next to me. You don't see them, okay? I'll tell you why they're there and what they're doing in a minute, but just pretend they're not there. Arms of Love. That's where I started with Ron Wetzel. I know a lot of you probably know Ron. Ron's real office was at Panera Bread Company. If you needed to find him, go down there for a cup of coffee, and he's sitting there talking to somebody. But he was talking to people about the ministry. He was talking to people about volunteering, and Ron did a wonderful job. Ron got us to the building that we're in now, and what a great asset that's been for our ministry over the years. And like everything, a person's season comes to an end. And Ron's came to an end, and we transitioned to options now, and Trudy came in. I told her she didn't have to stand up, but she's with us tonight. And Trudy helped us move from where we were with a lot of programs to cutting back some of the programs and really concentrating more and more on saving lives, saving babies. And we got a lot more medical. And that really made a difference when we began doing more medical things. Giving the mother the chance to see the baby is a game changer. And that's probably one of the biggest factors that helps them make a decision is seeing the baby. So we got that started with her. And we'll come back to Trudy. Thrive. Trudy actually brought us to Thrive. And she found them over in St. Louis, and Thrive did fantastic things in St. Louis. And they saved a lot of babies, and they were great at marketers, and they had great systems and procedures. And she felt, and we felt as a board at the time, that made a lot of sense to be affiliated with them. So we set out and we became affiliated with Thrive. And we brought some of their practices in and their marketing techniques. And again, we got better. And Kara was our executive director through most of Thrive. And a year ago tonight, Kara, myself, and probably her husband we're the only 3 people in this room that knew that she was leaving. Okay, so a year ago, I'm sitting here. I told the story to one of the staff tonight. I sat here a year ago thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? She's leaving. We don't have a director. What's this place going to look like? What are we going to do? Are we even going to make it to a banquet next year? And guess what? We're here. And I thought, thank you. That's because of the staff that was introduced a little while ago, and I'm going to talk about them here in a lot. But when Kara left, as a board, we got together, and what are we looking for in an executive director? Well, we need somebody with great marketing skills, particularly with digital marketing. We need somebody with great networking skills. We need somebody that can do that can do fundraising. And we need a person that's a good leader. You know how many of those are walking around the street without a job? Not many. So I'm thinking, oh, Lord. Well, one of the best things Kara did as she left is she said, hey, my husband and I were talking, and we think you should talk to Jackie. I said, okay, I'll talk to her. Oh, say Jackie, you get an applause. Okay, Jackie. We ain't seen nothing yet. It gets better. So I'm thinking, God, is this really too easy? Could I just talk to one person and we hire the right person and it be the one? So had 2 interviews with her, and I've hired a lot of people over the years. I tried everything I could to figure out why I shouldn't hire her. I asked her every question I knew. I questioned everything she did, and I'm thinking, it's just too good to be true. It can't be happening. I continue to pray about it. God, is this what you really want? It's too easy. And finally, in the 3rd interview, it's like, okay, I give up, God, you win. And we hired Jackie. So we got all the skills that we were looking for. She's done a wonderful job. Give her a round of applause, because it's been... So she started on June 1st, although she told us she wasn't going to do anything for 30 days. She did more things in 30 days than I've seen people do in 2 years. So in 9 months of being part of our organization, we've only changed our name, completely revamped things, started new programs, been doing nothing. So she's done a fantastic job. And the staff, again, give the staff a hand, because they've been wonderful. So that's where we've been. Now, where we're going. Where are we going? Where are we headed? Well, we're going to shine our light. God tells us to be the light. So Trudy's first talk as an executive director, she brought out a big pair of boots. I don't know if anybody ever remembers those. I did. They look like jungle boots. She called them some other kind of boots here a minute ago, so I told her I was going to tell this story. And she asked us to take an adventure with her. Well, you probably can't see that light, but that light is my light, okay? We're going to shine our light, and we're going to shine our light on our community and get even more involved locally than we've ever been before. Now, these lights, maybe you've already guessed it, but those lights represent a life that was saved in the past year. From January 1st to December 31st, 2025, those lights represent a baby that's shining a light right now, okay, and a mother that's shining the light. And obviously, we don't save every baby we come in contact with. I say it's okay. People might say, well, that's not okay, but I mean, it's just reality. But that doesn't mean we still aren't helping people. So we're very proud of the fact that we had 150, and I questioned again, 150, that sounds like a made-up number. Well, we do a tracking system, and I can prove to you that it's 150. Everything, almost everything I'm going to tell you, I can get proved out. So, and I even talked to Shannon to make sure what I said about her is true before we talked. So I'm going to ask you to walk with me as we shine our light. First of all, we're going to continue to be a Bible-based organization, okay? We're an organization that loves women and gives them hope. Every woman that comes in our door, we love equally, whether they end up working with us and we help them have the baby, or they decide to go another route. We still love that person. And we're there to support them any way and every way that we can. And I'm really adamant about that because we have to show God's love, okay? Another thing, by doing that, Planned Parenthood, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know the exact number. It's been a while since I've heard this statistic. This is one I can't totally prove, but I'm pretty close. Their projection, or what they want, is every woman they give an abortion to, they want to have over 2, like 2.4 or something like that. So between 2 and 3 abortions to each woman. So what does that tell you? We're probably going to have a chance to talk to this person again. If we've treated them with love and we've given them respect and we've been dignified with them, who knows, the second one maybe we have a chance at, okay? So that is the backbone of what we do. Our mission has not changed. How we deliver it and how we approach it and how we work at it is changing a lot. But, you know, our world is changing dramatically, okay? If we don't change with it, you get left behind. And our ministry right now is in a lot of change. I won't say chaos because it's not really chaos because we know where we're going. It just gets hectic once in a while. I don't know what the difference is, but it sounds better. So anyway, we're going to focus on our community and helping women in our community. You might say, well, haven't you always been doing that? And I'll say, well, yeah, kind of. We have been involved in our community, but it seems like, from my perspective as a board member, the last few years, we kind of pulled out of the community. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but we weren't as involved in the community as we were. And I feel that our part of this whole equation is working our fields in our backyards. So that's our major emphasis, is working on the community in our backyard. And you know what? It's already working. In the last year, particularly in the last 10 months or 9 months that Jackie has been with us, we've opened a lot of doors in our community. And if you notice the sponsorship board, this is the most sponsors we've ever had. Thank you for the sponsors. And it was by getting back into our community and sitting down and talking to people and knocking on doors we've never knocked on, we've learned a lot about our ministry. Can you believe it? We thought we knew everything, but we learned a lot. Shannon Vitale. Shannon, I'm not going to steal her thunder. She's going to tell her story here in a minute, but I want to set it up for her so she knocks it out of the park. Shannon is a great nurse, but she'd have been a better salesman. If she ever comes after you to sell you something, just write her a check and be done, because she's going to get it. So she took at least 2 days off of work, and she walked into, I asked her tonight how many. I wrote down 20 because I didn't want to brag, but I guess it was 50. Different businesses, some we've never had a relationship before, some that we have. And she asked them for a donation for our jingle and bid auction, which was, we were doing that 30 days before we were changing our name and all the chaos, hoopla. I mean, there were so many balls in the air, but they all stayed off the ground. So she walks in, and she not only walked out with a gift basket, she had people that worked there come up to her and say, we want to contribute to your organization because we were clients of yours a number of years ago, and you helped us, and we want to give back. Now, you lose perspective that these candles grow older, and you kind of forget about them. But look at the lives, we got thinking of the lives we've touched in our own community because of the work that we're doing in this community. How greater way to shine our light. So it kind of reinforced that what we were thinking we should be doing was the right thing. And we're going to do it even more. And I'm not following this thing, I'm just talking. So, but I do want to make sure I say some things that I wanted to make sure I said. So we're starting to build partnerships with people we've never had partnerships with before. Again, getting out in our community and talking to people, they said, well, maybe there's some ways we could do some things together. And I'm going to talk about two of them just briefly to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But there's more, and if you're one of them and I don't mention you, I apologize in advance. Anytime you do something like this, you're going to hurt somebody, and I apologize before I hurt you. But OSF is one of them. They happen to be a sponsor sitting back there. And you notice they're a sponsor of the event. And we're starting to build a partnership and a relationship with them. And we don't really know exactly where it's going to go, but it's going to lead us somewhere. You know, most of the time we're on a journey, we don't really know where we're going. We're just kind of being pulled and directed, and God is leading us here and leading us there. So, you know, we'll see where it goes, but we're very confident that God has a plan for it and it's going to be successful. Riverbender, it's another one. We have a partnership now with Riverbender. And CJ, where's CJ at? Anybody know CJ? I got to tell you how I met CJ. And again, I cleared this with him before I embarrass him. It's always nice to do that. I was part of the Riverbender CEO program. Too many letters. We got that founded about 10 years ago. And CJ was in our first class. And I met him then and was really impressed on how easy he was talking to people and coming up and introducing himself. And he was a real success story for that program. First year in our operation, and he started a business. And the business went really well. In fact, after a couple of years of running it, he sold it, cashed out, and started doing something else. And now he's running a podcast that gets a lot of attention and has done a lot of great things in our community. So thank you, CJ. The thing I'm going to embarrass him with, you may or may not know this, but he's a professional wrestler. Does he look like a professional wrestler? Now, there's two kinds of people that wrestle in a wrestling match. There's the guy that's going to beat somebody up, and then there's the guy that gets beat up. He's the guy that gets beat up. But I bring this up because Jackie's been on their podcast on Wednesday mornings at 9:20 and talking about vitality. She's brought a guest with her each time. I think 2 weeks ago I was on it with them. And another quick story with that. We're down there in the basement, in his studio. We're 5 minutes from going on air, and all of a sudden the lights go out. And we're sitting in pitch dark. I mean, you couldn't see anything. And we're sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, the devil really didn't want us to be on this show today, did he? But then the generator kicks in, and we were able to do the podcast and get on the show. So that is allowing us to touch people and get our name out there and get known better in our community. So thank you for that. You're going to hear, and if you looked at your programs, the ambassador program, that's a new thing that we've started. And there's different aspects to the ambassador program. The one that I'm going to just say a couple words about is kind of the street ambassadors. We have tried for years to get into SIUE and to Lewis and Clark and even Alton High and Marquette with our ministry. Can't get in there. Just couldn't get in there. So, okay, you can't get in one way, you get in another way. So the way we're getting in is we're going to have ambassadors, men, women that go to school there, and we're going to teach them about our program and give them information so that when they're in their classes or in their dorm or interacting with the students, if they find someone or hear someone that's having a problem, they can refer them to us. So that program is just getting started. Jackie will probably talk about that a little bit more. And then the next one I want to say a couple words about is Grandma's Gang. Now, don't get that confused with Grandpa's Gang. We're not going to be putting Christmas lights up. They probably could, but they're not going to. This is going to be a program for grandmas that want to do something to help us, even if it's making a craft of some type for the baby, or it's writing a handwritten note to give encouragement to the mother. So Jackie already has a bunch of people signed up for Grandma's Gang, so if you're interested in that, you can talk to her about that one. And then we're starting our own podcast called Vitality Speaks. And we've had probably 2 or 3 programs so far, but we're going to, at some point, turn that into hopefully weekly or a couple of weeks, once every 2 weeks. And the podcast is not only going to be about vitality, but it's going to be about different people in our community, what they're doing, how they're impacting the community. Because, if we're shining our light on our community gets a lot stronger. We make it a better community. And this, by talking to the people we've been talking about, we're making this a better community. And with all these lights that are out here to shine with ours, who knows what we can do. So last December, we got notice from the state of Illinois that they were no longer going to reimburse us. Amy, this is to you. They gave notice to us that they were not going to reimburse us for STD and pregnancy tests, which we've been offering for free, and we feel is very necessary for our medical clinic to be able to do. So, the state's been trying to put us, when I say us, all pregnancy centers, not just us, out of business for several years, and they haven't done it yet, and I don't think they will because God won't let them. But it does throw us a curveball, because now we've got $12,000 to $15,000 that we didn't have to spend before we have to spend. So that's money that we are going to have to find a way to come from. We also, one of the reasons we got Jackie was because of these things. Women, we're not reaching women unless we're reaching them on their phones. Their phones or their laptops or their pads. And to do that, we have to do digital marketing. Digital marketing is not cheap. Of course, nothing is. And that's another potentially $3,000 a month that we've never had in our budget, that we have to find a way to do it in order for us. I tell you, the world's changing. It's one of the ways the world's changed. And it's changing rapidly every day. So we have to be able to do this in order to really be able to get in front of people to help save babies. So we have four primary ways we raise money. Tonight's banquet is our largest event, and usually our largest fundraiser for the year. In 2016, we had our best year ever. We raised $154,076. You can verify that one. It's right. Sue says it's right, so if Sue says it, it's right. Really hoping with the number of sponsors we've had before we even get here tonight, that we're going to go past that number. And we really need to get past that number for some of the reasons that I just stated. The having to pay for tests we got for free, having to do digital marketing to get to the people, and we have to take care of our employees. So our second greatest fundraiser, and this is where you guys come in. I'll share all that with you here in just a second. Our baby bottles. We got new baby bottles this year. Wait till you see them. They're fantastic. I hope they're kind of bigger, so I feel bad for the people that have to haul them back to the building. They better start lifting weights because they're going to be heavy. But anyway, that fundraiser gets us somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000. Our goal for this year is to do $75,000. And when you think about the baby bottles, that's a lot of money to come out of those baby bottles. I hauled a lot of them back last year, and I can tell you that's heavy. It's a lot of work. Jingle, bid, and online auction. Our second annual will be this year, the week following Thanksgiving. It'll be bigger and better. Last year, Jackie said, I want to do this auction. We're going to raise $75,000. I said, good luck. I said, you sure you can do this? It's a lot of money, and we have all this other stuff going on. You can do it? Oh, yeah, I can do it. No problem. She did it. Okay, well, not only her, but the whole staff. So again, give them a hand of applause. We did not get $75,000. We might have got $7,500. She missed a zero, that's all. She wasn't an accountant, she's a marketer. And then we started an online store, and we have clothing items there, and we have coffee. We just started a relationship with a company called, I had to write this one down, 7 Weeks Coffee. And for every bag of coffee that people buy, we get a part of the proceeds. And on the clothing, it works the same way. There's hats, there's men and women's clothes. They're pretty cool stuff, so take a look at that. It's going to run for 3 different times during the year for like a 2-week window. You order it, it'll come to our office, and then we'll find a way to get it to you, or you can come pick it up. The last thing I want to discuss tonight is something that hit me while I was listening to a podcast back in December. And it was about a pregnancy center in Orlando, Florida. And it was talking about a men's program. There's a church in Orlando that started a pregnancy center in their church. Talk about making a commitment. And they've had tremendous success working with men. You know, it makes sense. You have a woman, she gets pregnant, there was probably a guy around somewhere. Now, not all the men are going to be good fathers or want to be fathers, and there's not all the circumstances are the same, but there are a number of fathers that want to be fathers, but maybe they don't know how to be, or maybe they need to learn how, or maybe they're afraid to be a father. Maybe they'd have never had a role model. We can try to do that. We can try to come up with a program and save the baby, save the mother with the gospel, and save the husband, get the husband or the father, and maybe we can create our families, because that's the godly way, is to have a family. So that's something that we're going to be working on this year. I don't know how far it's going to go, but you know what? We need help. So if any of you are interested, or your church is interested in talking about it, I'm not asking your church to become a pregnancy center, just maybe some people that might be willing to work with men and help mentor men. Our country could use that. Our community could use that. So the last thing I want to say to you is, how can you shine your light and help Vitality and help our community? Came up with several different ways. Easiest one, or obviously, is to support us financially, okay? Not everybody can do that, but we're hoping that there's people in here tonight that will support us financially. You can donate your time to the Ambassador Program, Grandma's Gang, all the different things that we have going on. There's a way that you could be put to use in a volunteer way. Also, we're looking for board members. Not only am I leaving, but Shannon's going to leave in September. So we need some more board members. So if you have any interest in getting involved in the ministry at a board level, we'd love to talk to you about it, okay? Because an organization needs a strong board to be a strong organization. So consider that if you would. If you're a business owner and you think, you know, they're doing partnerships, maybe my business could partner with them in some way. We'd love to talk to you. If it goes anywhere, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. We at least had a conversation and now we know somebody else. You can buy a t-shirt, a clothing item, bag of coffee in our store, or simply you could pray for us. You could pray for our ministry, for our clients, our employees, our board, our partners, and our community. So I want to thank you for coming tonight. Shine your light with us, and with Vitality Women's Clinic and myself, and let's make this community a better place to live. God bless you.
Thank you for the moments, thank you for the time.